Yes. Uh-huh. This idea of equity, yeah. Mhm. Originally in a law court, the only judgment possible was a settlement expressed in money. Yeah. But in a court of equity, yes, however, the plaintiff may get such help as a divorce, yes, cancellation of a contract, or a decree court order commanding, yes, the defendant to stop doing whatever he was doing that was harmful to myself as the plaintiff. Now, equity could and can find a proper remedy for any injustice. Now, this justice and fairness. Let's say you thought my wife had no idea that we were married in Kosovo. Yes. And she intentionally used my last name on May 24th of 2012 to motion the court for dissolution of marriage. Yes. I had given her my last name when we got married. Oh. Now, while I was on Guam, yes, we were living at the Guma San Jose. And I decided to stop by an attorney's office on Guam, yes, to kind of research what's necessary to dissolve a United Nations marriage. But my wife, yes, had to watch everything I was doing. And I remember there being a Micronesian there as if they did hear and did know my questions to that attorney firm. Yes. And my wife needed to know what I was doing. Poop. Now, it was kind of interesting because I was kind of the target of the Oprah show on Guam. Yes. Mhm. And the individual that I spoke to at that attorney firm, he's like, well, I really don't know. We don't work with a lot of United Nations marriages. Yes. Well, I did some research myself and I found out kind of how you have to do it. Yes. But let's say my wife filed for dissolution of marriage having done the research herself. Yes. And she knowingly used my last name to petition the court for dissolution of marriage, knowing that they can't dissolve the United Nations marriage certificate. Now, I would say it's the fraudulent use of my last name when my spouse does know that the actual marriage certificate was issued from the United Nations because we traveled to Kosovo to get married so we could have one of these evangelical gospel outreaches, yes, to the various individuals that the lead chaplains at Transport for Christ have been reaching out to. Now, when you think about justice and fairness, yes, I would say that Judge Ken Williams, yes, should have wanted a copy of it. Yes. And then he would have asked himself, well, Mrs. Button, do you realize we can't dissolve this United Nations marriage certificate? Now, I would say a court of equity, yes, could issue a decree commanding this county, yes, this state, yes, and every state of the United States to stop using my last name. Now, I would say yes, it was very fraudulent on the part of Heidi Lee Budnick, yes, to play this off like the county could dissolve a marriage certificate where she knows that they can't. Yes. See, I had done the research while I was on Guam, and I thought I'd put the feelers out while we were there to see what kind of response I would get from my wife. Because my wife decided that she would kidnap my sons right now. And for her to motion a court knowing that you cannot dissolve the United Nations marriage certificate is the fraudulent use of my last name that I gave her at the time of the marriage. Yes, it is. Now, let's say I went to suing you.